All right, let's see if we can work it out.
As he says, fuck it, we'll do it live.
We're on.
AOH is mobile again and tested out my location and having some technical difficulties, so bear with us. We're trying to come through for you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
man.
the win. Yeah, we're gonna be cutting each other off because of the delay. So just have some fun with it. While we wait for a few people to get in here. So you said in the comments they say we start late. I thought Wednesday we're usually pretty darn good compared to Sunday at least.
Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes we're a couple of minutes a little bit off. We have technical difficulties. Sometimes guys behind the scenes. So forgive us sometimes. But shout out to everybody in the chat that's already in the building, man. Renee 43, Rookie 305, Rob Shum, Rob Lane. Shout out to all you guys, man.
Shout out
Gary,
to you
what's up,
guys.
Gary?
Thanks you guys for being here. This is going to be a venting. We're all here to just let out our frustrations together. Uh, the kings of ranting, the number one king of ranting, sports and fitness rants, and myself. So we're all gonna rant together. We'll give people a few more minutes to show up. They're sneaking away from their desks and whatnot. Hey, so while we let people join in, I'll talk about your fitness rant that I listened to, doing random types of fitness.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was thinking you might find this one entertaining. I incorporate my dog in order for it to be more entertaining for me. And because my dog wants attention and he wants to be included, I actually use my dog as a weight, and I'll do curls with him and do head presses with him. And I don't know what they call it when you do a sit up and you've got the weight behind your head, those types of things. And of course, if he goes
Yeah,
jogging with me, that it makes jogging more fun.
yeah, no, that's great right there, AOH, man. I feel like a lot of people, use pets as a way to get, to be active. Pets will hold you to that standard. I mean, especially certain kinds of pets. If you have like a bulldog or, one of these little, a Shih Tzu or a Pomeranian or something like that, you're probably not going to get that much fitness in. But if you have a dog that needs to be active, that needs to get out, there leaves you no excuse. You have to get out there. Even your kids, people can use, small children as weights. I've seen mothers in some of these CrossFit gyms that I used to coach at, they'd have their babies, man, and they'd use their babies as weights and do different exercises with their children. So yeah, right on, man, for you.
Don't moms develop a larger arm on the arm where that they carry their baby with in the first
You
months
know
or
that
something
that's
like that?
interesting that you say that. I don't know if there's any science backing that, but I was telling my wife something, and I told her something about, when you hear the word functional fitness, or functional training or functional strength, sometimes it loses its meaning because we use that term a lot now. Oh, are you doing functional training? But I'll give you an example of what we're talking about when I talk on my channel about training for everyday life. And you think about a mother holding a baby in one arm. A mother can hold a 20-pound baby in her arm for hours at a time and not even feel it. Meanwhile, if a grown man
Mm.
tried to do the same thing, have you ever held a baby in your hands and you try to hold a kid for 10, 15 minutes? All of a sudden, your arm is burning. You have to keep
Yeah, it's no
switching
joke.
sides with the baby. A mother can do this without breaking a sweat, man. That's called, having that functional strength, man.
Yeah, conditioning's just what she became used to over a period of time. By the way, I got to correct you about what you said about the Pomeranians and whatever, because I've dealt with the biggest dogs to the smallest dogs. Your small dogs need exercise too. Don't lock them up and deprive them just because they're labeled lap dogs by human beings.
Yes, that,
Um,
that that's true. But taking a little dog like that 20 steps is not the same if you took a big dog 20 steps. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
no, of course. There's levels to this. Like a sheepdog, those ones that have been trained to just run and chase, or a sled dog. Obviously, there's levels to this. Well, shall we start? Man, there's so much. I can't believe how much happens in a week. I can't believe how much happens in 2 days. And this goes to this this goes along with the theme of a video I'm working on, and it's never going to get done because the input never stops, and it's talking about LeBron being the most scrutinized basketball player ever. Well, could he stop giving us ammunition? Could he just stop giving ammunition? You were telling me it's not like we get out of bed and use our imaginations. to think of things to talk about. He's serving it up on a platter, and his minions are serving it up on a platter. So, I mean, I guess LeBron fans just want us to shut up and sit back and take it. Just let the nonsense run amok without anyone checking reality.
That's exactly what they want. I don't know how many times I get these comments lately. Hey man, I bet you can't go a week without making a LeBron video. I bet you can't go a month without making a LeBron video. They really want us to stop talking about LeBron James because really what they want us to do is stop exposing LeBron James, right? Because when you talk, like you said, about, people always saying that like they think that we wake up in the morning and just, think about ways to talk about LeBron James. No, LeBron James gives us ammunition. But when they talk about LeBron James as the most hated athlete and, people are always tearing down LeBron James, I don't see that on the mainstream media. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Didn't this man just get an MVP of the Olympics for no damn reason? LeBron James is the most celebrated athlete in the media, and he's celebrated based off of lies and narratives. What we do on YouTube, the real basketball fans that are standing up, we're pushing back against a lot of those lies and narratives, man. We are here for the balance.
which which one do I start with? That's what's crazy about LeBron. Which topic do I start with? And I'm really upset. I went into my members section and put up a few videos and just like let it go raw. I was just like, man, things are so bad. This whole thing is so scripted that I actually wondered if Steph Curry should have thrown the Olympics. Um, just just to fuck with the script of LeBron getting the MVP.
Yep.
And obviously, I don't want Steph to do that. But these are the types of messed up thoughts that come into my head when everything is about the idea of a player instead of, in this case, it wasn't even about the USA. And you can call me a hater all you want, but you LeBron fans had better abandon Nick Wright then if you're going to get mad at me about that. That man actually saying that LeBron's legacy is more important than Team USA. That's crazy. That's craziness right there.
And this is what we're talking about. This is the celebrating that we're saying. So they're always telling us that we're hating on LeBron James and everyone's always talking bad about LeBron James. But meanwhile, like you said, on the mainstream media, on national television, you got these grown men, these idiots, saying that LeBron James's stardom, his legacy is more important than USA winning the gold medal. But the funny thing about it is, I've always said, LeBron James is always in a win-win situation. If the USA wins the gold medal like they did, he's going to get all the credit. But what would have happened if Steph Curry didn't put on a show against Serbia? What would have happened if Steph Curry didn't put on a show against France at the end of that game? You know what would have happened? They would have blamed Steph Curry for the loss. They would have blamed Kevin Durant for the loss. They would have blamed Steve Kerr for the loss. Everyone else would have been blamed. Everyone would have had their hand in that except for LeBron James. But when the USA wins the gold medal, he's touted as the MVP of the Olympics. And this is also an embarrassment. Since when is there an MVP of the Olympic team, especially on the United States side? I think we can clearly say that some of these foreign teams clearly have an MVP on their team. You can clearly say that Nikola Jokic is the MVP for his Serbian team. You can clearly say that a lot of these other players, star players, all the stars, the MVPs of their team, Giannis for Greece perhaps, right? Some of these other players. But there's no way you can distinctively say that LeBron James is the MVP of the United States Olympic team when he's playing alongside Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, and Anthony Davis. A lot of these other guys, man, it's insane for me how he gets all the credit, even though he's playing alongside all of this talent.
Well, the reason Steph Curry was on my mind originally was I should not be able to predict what's going to happen. And I did. When they announced the team, I was like, son of a bitch. LeBron James has no business being on the Olympic team in the first place, in my opinion. And I saw Steph was doing it. I was like, okay, so Steph is gonna pull his heroics like he has to do for his own team in the NBA, and LeBron, he's gonna save LeBron's ass, and LeBron's gonna get the credit. I mean, I shouldn't be able to be right about something like that weeks in advance. And you were ranting about Greeny saying that Steph's shot is the most iconic one in history. And I'm not gonna argue whether it is or isn't. I'm gonna say, if he had the most iconic Olympic shot ever. Isn't that a pretty big plug for him being the MVP by itself? Let's just start with that one. And then keep checking the boxes for every single time Steph Curry made sure that Team USA managed to win.
Yeah, no, you're right on the money when you talk about this Steph Curry stuff. And like you said, it's really sad that we could predict what was going to happen if someone else stepped up, someone made plays down the stretch in these big games. You know what's funny? I see people, saying a lot of stuff about Steph Curry, and they'll say, "Oh, where was Steph Curry for the first 4 games? He wasn't doing anything in the first 4 games. He showed up in the last 2 games." And all I say to those people is, you're actually making the point for Steph Curry being the MVP, because all you're saying, or what you're saying, is that in the 2 most important games, Steph Curry showed up the most in the 2 most important games. And what you're saying on the flip side is that in the least important games, right? In the least important games, LeBron James was the main guy in those games that didn't matter as much against lesser competition, mind you, against teams like Puerto Rico and
Well,
Brazil. So once again, when you say that, Mike Greenberg makes that claim that's the greatest shot in basketball history, he didn't say Olympic history. He said basketball history. And that's why I had a problem with that statement, man, because once again, you're making a blanket statement across the entire history of basketball, not the NBA or the Olympics or any of that stuff. Across all the basketball, that's the greatest shot on the basketball. So what, like you said, that exposes the notion of LeBron James getting the MVP. And once again, when they talk about Steph Curry not showing up for the first 4 games, why does Steph Curry have to be there for the first 4 games? This goes to LeBron James not making the plays around him better. Guys trying to figure out how to play with LeBron James. Don't you think it's ironic, or it's not ironic, that Kevin Durant's not in the starting lineup? He was not in the starting lineup. So they wanted him coming off the bench for a reason.
yeah, and Anthony Davis. And I think it was all every game in the Olympics, including the exhibition games, that the second string had to make up for the first string. So, how does a coach not see that? We'll get to Steve Kerr in a minute because there's plenty to say. Um, but let's pretend that the previous games did matter as much as the Serbia and the France game. They were blowouts. There were blowouts. Blowouts is not when you talk about performances. I mean, you've played when your team is killing the other team. It's easy to show out. You're relaxed. You're having fun. Fuck it. I'll go in for a crazier layup than I usually do, and if it goes in, great. It doesn't matter because nothing's on the line. I'll chuck up a three because nothing's on the line. But because you're relaxed, they're gonna go in. You can't measure by games that are blowouts, even if the game mattered. And they were it was definitely inferior competition. But here's the crazy thing. I've looked at those games, and LeBron's performance wasn't even special in those. Those were the games where they were talking about him being the glue. The glue. Fucking standing around on the perimeter and waiting for a dunk, just like in the regular season, is this glue and this intelligence.
Right? No, you're right on the money.
Oh,
All that does is expose, once again, the LeBron James fans and the idea that they talk about with LeBron James. And they're saying that LeBron James was carrying the Olympic team until those last 2 games. And like you said, during those games against teams like Puerto Rico and teams like Brazil, they were blowouts. They were beating these teams the way they were supposed to be beating these teams. They were beating them by 20, 25, 30 points. Just the way that we were talking about they should have been doing, like the 92 Dream Team. If you want to be held to that standard, then you have to live up to that standard. So all this does, once again, it goes right back to LeBron James and him not knowing what to do and him never being the closer that we've talked about. He always needs someone to close the games for him. And that's what Curry, guys like Kevin Durant, even Joel Embiid to a lesser degree, they were the closers during those final 2 games when it mattered most. Like you said, when the games were tight. Let's be very clear here. Against Serbia, the United States would have been down by at least 25 or 30 points without Steph Curry playing the way he did in that first half. Damn LeBron James and everyone else. There was no one doing anything. Steph Curry, I believe, scored 14 or 15 points in the first quarter. In the first quarter. And I believe he had 20 points in the first half. So, and he was still down by 11 at halftime. Even with all of that, So without Steph Curry's exploits in the first half, there is no second half for the United States team to come back on. And you once again expose LeBron James as never being the closer, not having a go-to move, and folding up under pressure. When the score was tight, where was LeBron James? He didn't want to take any jump shots late in those games, especially against Serbia. If you notice, he never took any jump shots. He let Curry, Durant take the shots.
Yeah, yeah, and some of Durant's shots. Here's the thing. I know that there's a lot of negative that's coming with Durant, and like I think I was watching you. He had some terrible tweet, and I was like, Christ, Durant, I can't defend you anymore saying things like this. But he makes some of his shots look easy, and those mid ranges over other people aren't that easy, and those are clutch in a whole different way. So, which leads me to something else I was going to talk about. To me, Curry was a pretty obvious MVP, but I'm not defaulting that LeBron comes in second. I don't even think he comes in second. I don't. And I have the games. And by the way, for those of you who are waiting, I am editing and breaking them down. But it's so frustrating. We had to do a Wednesday rant and just talk about these things. By the way, please, by all means, put in the comments, not the live chat, but the actual comments, anything in particular that you would like to suggest that I pay attention to when I'm breaking the games down. But yeah. Oh, hey, let me go down the list of things that we should talk about today. And listeners, feel free to remind us in the comments. Um, Feel free to do some super thanks to help us notice them. I'd like to talk about Stephon Marbury a little bit. I'd like to talk about the AI generated poster, that never happened on LeBron James. I want to talk about Steve Kerr um, and integrity there. I guess we should talk about LeBron James just being a complete asshole to a child. uh, there's so much. God, what did I forget? I've got a whole list written down. But go ahead and tell us in the comments what we forgot about. But let, I think it's really interesting that in my members section, I was talking about Steve Kerr before you came out with your rant. I published this thing a couple of days ago, and then Steve Kerr apparently had this soft ass Clutch Media written comment, and you went off about how ridiculous it was. And well, Steve is just going with the flow of what everyone else is going because it's going to extend his. Oh no, this connection lost. Because I can see you.
I think you're breaking up a little bit on me. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if you guys can hear me. AOH, you hear me? We were talking about Steve Kerr's comments. I don't know if anybody can hear me right now. Can you guys hear me though? Yeah, man. So we talk about the Steve Kerr comments. I know AOH brought up the Steve Kerr comments. I think he dropped out real quick. He'll probably be popping back in. But Steve Kerr, man, those comments that he made, they didn't make any sense to me. Because when Steve Kerr talks about having to figure out how to beat LeBron James, after all these years, it doesn't make any sense. It's not adding up to the video footage and what happened in reality, like I said in my video. Because the reality is that Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors figured out what to do with LeBron James the very first meeting in 2015. They literally subbed in their sixth man, Andre Iguodala, brought him into the starting role, and the rest is history. So when Steve Kerr says I had to figure out how to beat LeBron James, man, it ain't like you're going against Michael Jordan and he's 6-0 in the finals and everyone's trying to figure out. You ain't Jerry Sloan coaching the Utah Jazz and you're like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to beat this guy Michael Jordan no matter what we do. Even a flu, the pizza sickness, whatever you want to call it, even that wouldn't stop Michael Jordan. So these comments makes no sense to me. Yeah, I know. I told you guys we've been having some technical difficulties. My man AOH out there on the road, he's out there in nature. So sometimes his signal breaks up a little bit. But you guys know the deal with these Steve Kerr comments. Once again, he talks about he's a LeBron James fan for life. How could you be a LeBron James fan for life? I don't understand how these guys, once again, sell their integrity. They stand on nothing. LeBron James stands for nothing. How could you say you're a LeBron James fan for life, man? A fan of what? Him walking off the court early, him flopping around the court, not carrying himself with any integrity, not respecting the game. None of this stuff, man. I don't understand these guys.
Yo, I can hear you
Can
again.
you hear me, AOH? I'm ranting on, man.
Yeah. Oh, you're holding down the fort? Good for you.
I'm trying.
All right, I might have some wind here. I had to come out,
I
hoping
was
to
talking
get
about
some
Steve
better
Kerr.
signal. Yeah. I mean, look,
Because that's
he
it.
didn't defend. He didn't defend. He didn't defend Curry. He didn't defend the fact that Curry deserved the MVP. He played LeBron more minutes than LeBron should have been playing. He forced Team USA to cater to LeBron. All these things.
I see someone in the comment section said that we're mad because he likes a player. It ain't about liking a player. See, you guys don't seem to get it. So LeBron James fans, if you listen to what I said is his comments don't make any sense. And what I said, how could you be a fan of LeBron James when he literally disrespects the NBA? This dude is a straight goofball. He's a clown. He doesn't have any integrity. So he cheats the game. Why would you be a fan of LeBron James? I don't understand it, man. That's my whole point, and you guys don't seem to get that.
Yeah, that's not even worth talking about. What an
And the
idiot.
Starberry, the Stephon Marbury stuff you brought up, it goes right in line with the Steve Kerr stuff. The reason why LeBron James has a problem with Stephon Marbury is because Stephon Marbury kept it real and said that he should not be mentioned in the same sentence as a Michael Jordan, man. And LeBron James is very upset about those kinds of comments. If you don't believe that LeBron James is the greatest of all time, if you don't call him that, then LeBron James feels disrespected. This is why he feels like he's not getting the respect he deserves if everyone doesn't call him the greatest of all time. And Stephon Marbury said that LeBron James is nowhere near Michael Jordan. He shouldn't even be mentioned in the same sentence as Michael Jordan. So when Stephon Marbury goes to dap up LeBron James on the sideline after they win the gold medal, LeBron James looks right past Stephon Marbury and doesn't even acknowledge him.
The difference. He doesn't have it. He can believe people who that's who's going to be. God
Yeah,
damn it.
that's a great point, AOH.
It's
And that's the
fucking
problem
ridiculous.
for LeBron James and some of these guys. The problem is that, someone like Stephon Marbury, like you said, he don't fall in line with that stuff. He got his own sneakers. He's been selling his own brand for years now. The man left the NBA years ago, went over to, I believe, China, and just like took it over, man. So he doesn't have to fall in line with LeBron James, the clutch sports, all the narratives, all the lies. Stephon Marbury is not looking for money from LeBron James. A lot of these clowns out here, they sell themselves for the money. So for the fame, so that they'll think LeBron James will do them a favor somehow down the line, or he'll get them a job somewhere down the line or something. It's an absolute joke, man. Stephon Marbury don't need anything from LeBron James, and he kept it real because every true basketball fan knows whether you have Michael Jordan the greatest of all time or not, you know that LeBron James ain't close to Michael Jordan, man. He's not close to him, and that's what Stephon Marbury said. And LeBron James is once again like a 10-year-old kid out there, man. He can't take any of that stuff.
Wait, did he retaliate?
Yeah, Stephon Marbury actually came out. He was interviewed, I believe, the next day. And in the interview, they asked him about the interaction with him and LeBron James. And he tried to play it off and he said, yeah, he didn't see me. So the other guy that was doing the interview in the broadcast, he said, "No, man, he saw you there. You were standing right next to Carmelo Anthony. He saw you." And Stephon Marbury replied with, "I guess I turned invisible." That was his response because Stephon Marbury knows the deal. He knew that LeBron James wasn't probably going to dap him up. He was going to play that game. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is, I heard that Draymond Green gave Stephon Marbury a dap up. Like he shook his hand and acknowledged him. And then I think after the fact, he realized that he shouldn't have done that because Stephon Marbury and LeBron James ain't seeing eye to eye, apparently.
You see how ridiculous it is? Another man can't make his own decision because it might go against the script.
Exactly. And that's why it's funny when you have, his people in the
Uh,
comment section talking about, oh, you guys hate on this guy, you guys hate on that guy. Meanwhile, there are people out there that can't even acknowledge someone else because they said something about LeBron James that he don't like, man. These guys are a joke.
it would be an interesting project for a psychiatrist to find out why there's such a need to believe this illusion. You know, the people who got upset at ESPN and Bleacher Report for actually showing LeBron getting dunked on. And I heard about the reactions and how upset they were. And it was like it was shattering their false reality, like claiming that it didn't even happen. And look, prove, show us all that you watch the games, you know? When you claim that it was AI, that means that you obviously didn't watch the game. You know, if you were the type of people that actually watched the games, that it's unless was
Exactly, and that's a bigger problem for the LeBron James fans is that they don't watch the games, and we know they don't watch the games because we can hear them talk whenever they speak. You can tell these people did not watch the games, and that's why I always tell these people they didn't watch the NBA back in the day. They want to make comments about the 80s and the 90s, the era that I grew up watching. When meanwhile they don't even watch this era of NBA. They don't even watch what's going on now. But you're gonna talk to me about the 80s and the 90s. So when they talk about that dunk being artificial intelligence, being AI created, once again, it's laughable because I watched it happen live. And there goes LeBron James, not playing any defense, right? Standing there trying to take a charge on a guy that's jumping outside the paint. It's insane to me, man. LeBron James and his nonsensical defensive effort.
when these people say, "Don't disrespect my king," and their names, their Twitter handles, whatever, have LeBron is my king in the title, I think I would never, ever, ever in a million years have had a title about Michael Jordan. And maybe if Twitter existed when I was in grade school, I would have done that for a little bit. But then I would have grown up and realized what a stupid title, what a stupid name to have. But to say my king, to say my king, I would I wouldn't call Michael Jordan my lord, my God, my king. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's funny when we talk about being a fan of a player or supporting a certain player. The LeBron James fans take it to a whole nother extreme, a whole nother level. Because, like you said, first of all, they don't watch the games to support LeBron James. Second of all, they're not buying his clothing, they're not buying his sneakers. 90% of LeBron James supporters, the people who cry in your comment sections, they're wearing Michael Jordan sneakers when they cry about Michael Jordan. When they tear down the 80s and the 90s, they do it in a pair of Michael Jordan sneakers. So they lose all credibility. These people are a bunch of hypocrites. They make no sense. They're delusional. They're not living in reality. When we talk about Michael Jordan's popularity and you think about it versus LeBron James, once again, this exposes the LeBron James fans. You're not real fans. They're not real people. They're bots. So they'll make one YouTube channel. It'll be for one person to have 10 YouTube channels, and it's all LeBron James stuff. When you talk about the LeBron James channels on YouTube, when I started YouTube a couple of years ago, I was actually surprised how many people have YouTube channels but never make any videos. And I get
Mm.
it. A lot of people make channels so they can interact on YouTube, and I get that. The funny thing is, a lot of the people that are negative, that have to tear you down, that say you don't know what you're talking about, these same people keep coming back to your channels. But when you challenge them to speak on basketball, to show their acumen, their knowledge on the game, their historical context, they have no videos. They have nothing to talk about. They'll just call you a hater, like these guys that we get always in the comment section on our Sunday show. So it's funny, like you said, how these people always make their channels about LeBron James, but in fact, all they're doing is attracting the other weird LeBron James fans.
Well, you know what you made me just think about? I've had a couple of converts on my channel, people who actually said I used to be a LeBron person until I started watching your breakdowns. And I'm like, okay, so how did this actually happen? Because I didn't think it was possible. Well, it's because I break down entire games. So if they never watched the actual game live, now they're seeing the game on my channel. And they're like, and this is the reality check for them. You know, watching a game and understanding the context of when a play happens is the difference between understanding when a play actually matters versus LeBron's garbage time career.
Yo, it's really crazy, man. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, LH. I'm looking at some of these comments in the comment section here, man, and it's
Don't
just
waste your
funny
time.
to me. I know this is what I do, but it's just funny to me because someone's talking about you wearing a wig, and they're talking about a grown man wearing a wig, and they're trying to come at you personally and saying something. But it's so funny because LeBron James, he needs to wear a wig. LeBron James is still brushing his hair. LeBron James is still wearing do-rags with no hair. So who's sillier? Someone who thinks they have hair that brushes their hair all the time with no hair, someone who wears do-rags at age 40 years old with no hair, or someone who's using a get-up, right? A certain look for a certain reason.
Hey, this is closer to reality than LeBron's hair. I used to have a big old freaking head of hair like this. Everything about LeBron is fake, from his fucking makeup to his steroid induced body to his hair. You know, so fuck you.
Ah,
I'll be in a little bit of false reality too, all right? But you know, think about, here's what I wanted from Steve Kerr. It's like, Steve, I understand you can extend your career by bowing down to clutch media, but how much more do you need? You know, you got the coaching career success, you got the NBA success. Just say enough is enough. Walk away and be like, okay, I can't be a part of this anymore. And that's why I said that's the difference between him and Stephon Marbury. Stephon Marbury, it's already over with. He might as well go ahead and just be honest.
yeah, no, I mean, you're right on the money. And that was my problem with Steve Kerr. These comments, all I want for a lot of these guys in the media, these players, these coaches, even the ex-players, these guys on their podcast, is
Jesus,
just
shut
to
your
speak with
goddamn
some
child
kind of
up.
integrity. What happened?
Fucking piece of shit. You know,
They,
if
a
a
lot
kid
of
like that
times
came
when
at LeBron, he could have been as rude as he was.
exactly. They don't make any sense, man. Nothing adds up. The statements that these people make, even if you think about all the stuff they've been saying about the 92 Dream Team in relation to this Olympic team, it never adds up. They'll just say these guys are better, but they won't give you any breakdown. All they'll say is, oh, the guys at 92 couldn't shoot. They couldn't dribble. That's all they'll say. When in reality, that's not an accurate statement. The guys could shoot, they could dribble. So it's really funny. All I want is these guys, like I said, to keep their integrity, man, and to be honest, man. They're not honest. These guys are all over the place, man. One minute they're saying this, the next minute they're saying that.
What did we not get to?
Let's talk about Kevin Durant's tweets to the fans. Can you hear me, AOH? You're breaking up. My man AOH doing as great as a hoop god impersonation today. Okay, my
Say
man
what?
Angry Old Hoop God. I'm gonna start calling you Angry Old Hoop God right now. So
Nothing.
let's touch on this Kevin Durant stuff real quick. Can you guys hear me, man, out there? The Kevin Durant tweets, man. See, this is the
Mention.
problem with a lot of these guys. This is why we can't get behind these fools. Speed, what up,
Fuck
man?
you, technology.
I can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
All right, cool. I came in and AOH was yelling at kids in public, and um, there was I think Mandarin in the chat room. It's like all hell's broken loose.
Yeah, so we were talking about Kevin Durant's tweets, Beam. You have anything to say on Kevin Durant's tweets to the fans?
Can you tell me what he said?
Yeah, so essentially, I mean, he sent out several tweets, but mostly was focused on the fans and how we ain't worth a damn and how our takes ain't worth nothing because we're just fans. We're nobodies. We didn't play in the league. You know, that's pretty much what he was saying. He was going after Denver Nugget fans for rooting for Nikola Jokic and calling them like anti-American for rooting for Nikola Jokic and rooting against the USA team. But my problem was when he talked about how, you know, he basically saying that, you know, YouTube and some of these other social media platforms have given us a voice, but we ain't nothing. We're nobodies and our takes don't matter. That's what he said.
So the first thing that came to my mind is that you're anti-American if you cheer for Nikola Jokic. If that's the case, then I hate that I'm going to use this, but then keep that same energy all season. Then I'm seeing this vicious turn in the NBA with like this anti-European stance, and the like they're all anybody that plays overseas. I feel like something about them is being attacked, and it's always compared to America. So again, we're like outside of basketball, right? But Kevin Durant, it's hard for me to beat other than like having the ghost tweeter and all that. He seems like he's just been like I don't even, miserable is not the word, but just like content. Like there's no happiness, there's no sadness. He's kind of like a robot or something, you know. So that doesn't surprise me. And I think, who was it? Someone, you know, I think it was Dave Chappelle. He said, you know, all that Twitter stuff, all that stuff, it doesn't exist, right? It literally does not exist. So I'm gonna still cheer for him. I mean, I have several pairs of his sneakers. I love his game. It's more anti-European stuff.
See, Speed, you just made a point right there that I was saying. Like you said, you have a couple of pairs of his shoes. You're a supporter of Kevin Durant, right? And he has a lot of supporters out there. There's a lot of people buying Kevin Durant sneakers. So for him to talk down on the fans as if we're nobodies when we're infected people that have made him rich. See, these guys are not in touch with reality. They seem to think that they're getting paid from the NBA, the owners of these leagues, and that these guys are just pulling this money out of thin air. They're getting all this money from the fans over the years, from the people buying the merchandise from these organizations. So for Kevin Durant to talk down and say that we don't matter and our takes don't mean anything and we think that we have a voice because of things like YouTube and these platforms, it doesn't make any sense, man, because once again, it's people like you that are out there supporting this clown. And for him to say that don't make any sense. And I saw some of the comments, Meg, you're running the money. If we didn't matter, if our comments didn't mean anything, if we don't know anything, then why does it bother Kevin Durant so much? Kevin Durant is one of the most sensitive and soft people, one of the most frail, fragile-minded people, superstar athletes I've ever come across in my life, man. He would not make it in the 90s. I tell people all the time, when I was growing up back in the 80s and the 90s, we would literally be on the back of the bus having your mama disses, talking about your mama this, your mama that, making fun of your mother. I mean, people would say some harsh things about people's mom. You don't know this mother was dead. You don't know the case about these people. And this is the reality of the world that we grew up in. And I always tell people it was sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Kevin Durant needs to learn that phrase and take it to heart and understand, if the people don't matter, if we don't know anything, then why are you going back and forth with us in the comment section on Twitter?
You know, so I'm looking at his feed right now, and I'm seeing that post about Jokic, and like, what kills me also is like how much players swear now. I know that seems like such like a dad thing to say, but like he goes off in this tweet, and it's like, you know, kids
that's what I'm
see this.
saying, man. He went off, man.
Right. Kids see this, and like you said, that's where your money comes from. So to your point, I will not purchase a pair of LeBron James sneakers. I'm a, you know, as you know, I'm like an avid collector. Will not purchase one. Durant, I do. He's like, you know, in the movies, how like there's always a character that's like this wild card that like you could either tune him to be real good or real bad. That's how Kevin Durant is. Like when he's on his shit. Like, remember when he came back in that game when they were playing the Raptors in the finals and he scored like 12, he hit like 6 buckets like the first 2 minutes, and then he got hurt again. Like, yeah, that dude's a monster. But it's like two different people almost. Maybe he has like split personality disorder or something like that. Seriously.
Yo, wait, can you hear us, man? You in here? My man AOH having some serious technical difficulties, man. We're trying to
Kind
keep the
of.
show going without him. You know what I'm saying? AOH, you there?
He must be hiking near Area 51 or something.
I see them calling you
Nah, man.
Bomani Jones in the chat.
Yeah, eventually I'm gonna have to put my actual name on here.
Man, I'm
just
about as
the
professional
Richard
as LeBron
Jefferson
at this
thing.
point. Damn.
Yeah, man. But you know, like I said, it's crazy. Like I said, you know, my biggest
You
one
know
of my
what? I
big
like that
qualms
better.
with.
Not.
Can you hear us?
AOH is talking to us from the future. Just give him a minute.
You know what it is, man? I talked about it in my video, and I said that Kevin Durant's tweets, it spoke to a bigger problem with a lot of these players that I've noticed in this new era. And the problem is that these guys they think because we didn't play in the NBA, we're just quote unquote common folk, that they're better than us. I'm telling you right now, Kevin Durant deep down believes that he's better than every other person out here, man, because he plays in the NBA, because he's a star athlete. Just same thing like LeBron James and a lot of these other guys. They really look down on us as, like I said, as NBA fans, as basketball fans. They look down on us, and I really have a problem with that. It's similar to what Gilbert Arenas was saying when he came on that Sunday Live show. He was talking to us as if we were beneath him because we did not play in the NBA. So we're not intelligent enough to understand the game of basketball. If I'm playing in high school, it's the same game that you play in the NBA. It's the same game. No, it's not the same level, but it's the same game. The game that I grew up watching is supposed to be the same game. So when these guys say, oh, you don't know, you didn't play in the league, it don't make any sense. Yeah, maybe I don't know some of the behind the scenes stuff, the stories that these guys tell. Yeah, we don't know that. But I know what I watched growing up. I know what I watched on the TV screen, and I'm judging and I'm ranking these players based off of what I saw in reality. Remember, perception is reality. And a lot of these guys don't seem to get that, but I'm really getting tired of these fools talking down the common folks, just like LeBron James always does. How many times has LeBron James tweeted at the fans and then deleted his tweets because he knows he sounds stupid?
You know what's wild is somebody should pull up like the pre and post game like footage from games in the 80s and 90s to see like how dudes dressed and how they handled themselves and how they went back and forth with fans because granted we didn't have the same they didn't have the same access we do, but I didn't get that same sense of entitlement from players in the 90s because I was born in 85, so I was watching mostly 90s and early 2000s, but it wasn't like a fashion show. It wasn't a fashion show. It wasn't proof that you're better than everybody else. And I don't know when that changed. I'm not going to pin that one on LeBron specifically, but it just goes more into your points about entitlement. American arrogance is what it is. If you look at how Nikola Jokic dresses to the game. The dude puts on like an accountant's suit, right? But then you look at somebody like who's that dude? I always forget his name. That dude with the weird jumper plays for Indiana. Halliburton.
Yeah.
Like you should like some of his fits when he walks in. It's like, is perception reality? Is this real? That's where we are now.
Yo, I can hear you guys again, by the way.
Nice. Welcome.
Yeah.
Well, while you were talking, I took a minute to block a spammer. I hope I got the one that you guys are all telling me to block. If not, let me know.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man.
LeBron's it's just basketball comment. To me, that's the 2024 version of his 2011 comment, in which both of them are escape routes. One of them is attacking everyone else and saying, you're beneath me, whatever you think doesn't matter. But only somebody who is feeling it and knows what's happening would feel the need to say something like that. And only somebody who's feeling it would feel the need to say something like it's only basketball. So I think it's just, dare I say, it's only basketball is a more mature version than the 2011 where he just like craps on the little people. But both of them are, pretty pathetic things to say.
Yeah, and all these statements do is expose LeBron James. Once again, this exposes why I'll never support someone like that. When you say it's just basketball, once again, you're not living in reality. You're showing how delusional you are. You're literally a billionaire because of that basketball that you so summarily dismissed. You're literally a billionaire because of it. I keep telling these people, man, LeBron James supporters, man. LeBron James does not love the game. He does not love basketball. He loves everything that he's gotten from the game of basketball because think about it. He's been giving things since he was in high school. The man was driving to school in a Hummer. A Hummer, guys. There was a Hummer this man was driving around in. So from that moment on, LeBron James understood that he was physically gifted. He was blessed, man. The man was blessed. You see this high school kid, man? I played high school basketball. I played against all kinds of different teams in different schools. I ain't never seen someone like that in any of the teams that I played against, man. So when you talk about the talent, the blessing that he was given, LeBron James has once again taken these kinds of things for granted. It's similar to what LeBron James said to the ESPYs a couple of years back when he talked about he never cheated the game. The only reason that you felt the need to say out loud that you never cheated the game is because you have a guilty conscience. It's the same thing with Kevin Durant going after the fans on Twitter. He has a guilty conscience about those years in Golden State and how we laugh and we don't really respect those championships. So anytime that someone speaks up about that, Kevin Durant comes out. It's the same thing that happened with him and Keyshawn Johnson like a month or so ago. When Keyshawn
Oh
Johnson made those
God.
comments that Paul Pierce would have did the same thing on Golden State,
Fuck your
here
shirt
goes
in,
Kevin
Keyshawn
Durant
Johnson.
to try to set the record straight because he gets upset about these things. LeBron James is a complete dirtbag, man. He does not love the game. He does not respect the fans. And when he says it's just basketball, you show how delusional you are. You're literally a billionaire because of basketball.
If you think Keyshawn Johnson is worth responding to, that tells you something by itself.
I mean, the man Keyshawn Johnson wrote a book that was titled "Just Give Me the Damn Ball." And when he played for the New York Jets here in New York, everyone loved Wayne Corbett a lot more than Keyshawn Johnson. Wayne Corbett was the guy that did all the dirty work. He went across the middle and caught the ball. He was the first down guy. Every time they needed a first down, they would go to Wayne Corbett because he had short hands, man. He did the dirty work. Wayne Corbett was only like 5'10", 175, 180 pounds. And him and Keyshawn Johnson were the complete polar opposites, man.
Well, I
Keyshawn
hear
Johnson
about
needs to just like that's how far we've fallen. Actually, real quick, AOH, because I'm on my little societal rant too.
Yeah.
That's how far we've fallen. That Keyshawn Johnson, who I'm not counting his money, is probably a millionaire. He goes up there and he looks like a pile of mashed potatoes with a button down on, and he doesn't even sit up straight. It's not just him. It's there's such a lack of professionalism even across the board with all of these shows now. And that's a reflection of where we are. So it's all combined. My bad, AOH. Go ahead.
No, it's not your bad. There's a delay. Otherwise, I wouldn't have cut you off like that. Fuck. I don't even know why I was cutting you off now. Now I'm thinking about. I'm busy. This the Chinese characters spammer keeps coming in there, distracting me.
Is that why it keeps telling me to reload my chat? Okay. No problem.
I think it was Uncut Hoops video that showed how guys were all giddy about how great David Stern was because he allowed them to wear whatever they wanted to. Man, if that's what you think is the difference maker and a great commissioner, then that shows how childish you are. I mean, you are freaking children. I get to wear what I want to wear. God damn, are you an
David
adult?
Stern puts the hammer down. None of this shit would be happening if he was still commissioner. None of it. He'd veto so many trades.
They shouldn't be allowed to wear that stuff just as adults. Their moms, even though they're grown men, their moms should be calling them saying, take that crap off.
Their moms tweet for him, AOH. What's his face? Jason Tatum's mom was tweeting about him not getting playing time. I think it was Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And again, no disrespect to a mother looking after their child, but it's like, damn, like, what?
Yeah, you guys are right, man. When we're talking about the clothing and stuff, man, and the way these guys are dressing, man, it goes to the mentality with these guys. Once again, the mentality has changed. When you talk about, these guys, they're actually more concerned about what they're wearing to the games than they are with the actual game. You know, this is why they load manage. This is why load management became a thing. These guys wanted to sit in the sidelines and wear their cool clothes. Oh, I look cool, man. Look at me sitting here on the sideline wearing some nonsensical outfits. These guys are really like James Harden. He really thinks he's cool. James Harden thinks he has swag. James Harden is the swaggiest dude I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know if that's a word, but James Harden got no swag, man. That's why he has to pay for the women he's getting. These guys have to throw hundreds and thousands of dollars at these women to get them to hang out with them. That shows how little swag you have, man. When you watch Tyrese Halliburton dress or Kyle Kuzma dress, even Russell Westbrook, who I like Russell Westbrook, but these guys don't know how to dress like grown men, like true professionals. So they don't carry themselves as true professionals. Once again, they're more concerned about what they're wearing to the game than the actual game plan.
I forgot about Kyle Kuzma's ass, always looking like one of those Among Us characters or something. He doesn't play well. Is the difference. I will give James Harden a little credit because at least he plays hard sometimes. And Russell Westbrook is the only one I'm like okay with dressing like that, because I know a lot of the money that he gets I'm sure they all do. And a lot of the money he does get does go to a lot of charities. He seems like a decent guy, and he averaged triple-double for 3 years in a row. So to me, he's not quite as bad as Kuzma or Harden.
I'm just gonna leave that one alone. Fucking.
I mean, you guys remember when
I can't get out of my head
to the sideline drinking alcohol? He was sitting on the side on the bench drinking alcohol. But his fans will talk about Michael Jordan being an alcoholic and a gambler.
Oh, I'm actually surprised that LeBron drinks alcohol.
Oh, he's got his wine.
Is that mixed with steroids?
Listen, I think honestly.
Everybody has their own goddamn tequila.
I think they've just been cloning him. Just the same one, right? Because they all break down in the fourth quarter. He goes to the back, and they bring out the next clone who's just a little bit dumber than the one before, and that's why you see his game regress. Because it's just not the same person.
I can't believe we have 260 viewers because we are all over the map.
They like that, though. They know the deal, man. They came to tune in, man. They wanted to see Richard Jefferson, Angry O Hoops, and Sports and Fitness Rants, man.
It's 260 people looking for where you are, AOH. In that bad reception spot.
Tell us. I actually drove around to improve this. And those of you in the comments talking about me being high, I'm actually not high. This is a legit technical difficulty. I was forced to be on the road, not in the studio. I'm doing what I can. Guys, tell us in the comments your most painful moment from this year's Olympics, the basketball portion of it. And I know the crowning of the MVP was pretty terrible. I know LeBron crowning himself mistakenly was pretty terrible. Yeah, okay, go ahead, Richard.
I have real quick.
Hey, RJ.
Anytime, I'm gonna change it to Speed Mention / RJ.
No.
Anytime, no, one or the other, right?
Well, what do you want? Wait, and not Richard Jefferson. And RJ.
That's what it was before.
NRJ. Energy.
Not Richard Jefferson. Energy. All right, that's dope. Okay, let's cut this out of the show so no one else takes that. That's great.
Only a high guy would have come up with that, but I'm not high.
That was great. No, so every time I saw LeBron or Anthony Davis yell after a bucket and they're up by like 17, 19 points, that was collectively the most embarrassing thing that I saw, because they did the same thing in the bubble tournament. Just a bunch of peacocking, front running, acting like what they did was the biggest thing in the world. AOH, I think even you brought up I think it was like a layup that LeBron did, and he came down and he adjusted his shoulders and did all that. And that's the stuff I can't stand, that nobody talks about.
Yeah, so some of the guys in the comment section, you guys are on the money. They were talking about LeBron James doing the flexing all the time. I see people talking about LeBron James taking all the credit. You know, these are all the things that we're talking about, man. They can't stand the flexing, man. I'm telling you right now, I see my man Classic Basketball DVDs talking about trailing to South Sudan. Like, how the hell were they losing to South Sudan when they were a 40-point favorite?
Took them for granted. That was them same boys from what was that Kevin Bacon movie? The Air Up There. That was that same tribe. No disrespect, that's a joke.
So
one of my most hated moments. Oh, go ahead.
Uh, as expected, when people called out Team USA for constantly celebrating everything that happened, and I said in the video, I'm like, this is about themselves. This is about look at me. This isn't true celebration of what happened on the court. But for the LeBron people who said, "What's wrong with celebrating? I would do it too." Well, of course you would. We don't expect much from you. But here's the other part of it. If you do it every play, then it becomes meaningless. You got to save something for a special play. I mean, even if you are going to defend that sort of self-centered, look at my dance on the sideline instead of the guys on the court doing the work, you got to limit it. It can't be nonstop. Otherwise, what does it mean anymore?
Yeah, you're right.
Just like
I agree
if
with you
we're all
100%,
special,
man.
nobody's special.
Yeah, right. It's all about, like I said, man, when we're talking about the 92 Dream Team, they make those comparisons, and you're talking about the way these guys are celebrating every single play, every three-pointer that goes up, they got to do a celebration. And this has been going on for years, even in the NBA. They make one three-pointer out of 10, and they're doing a three to the head. They're doing some crazy dance out there. I made a three-pointer. Yeah, but you missed the first 9, you goof. So what the hell are we celebrating here, man? That you made a three? That's the problem, man. You're not celebrating with any class, man. Once again, you're not holding yourself to a standard. And a lot of these fans of LeBron James and some of these other people, they don't want to look at that. They're not holding them to a standard.
What do you? Hey,
Hey,
SNF. What do you think's worse, the too small thing, or the three to the head?
oh
The too
my!
small. I can't stand the
AOH, you
too
please
small.
answer that too. The too small thing, especially when they're twice the size of the dude they just backed down.
You remember, LeBron James was doing the too short gesture, the taunt, when they were down by 14 points. They were down 14 to Serbia. Here goes LeBron James scoring an N1 layup against a 6'4" guy, and he does the too short gesture.
I didn't
Dude, you're
know that.
down 14.
I didn't
You
even.
look
Okay, I didn't even see
stupid.
that. Wow.
Hey, LeBron fans, go and look at that play, by the way, and play it in slow motion, and tell me that there was something worth being proud of there. I mean, that was fucking embarrassing. The whistle shouldn't have been blown. Not to mention, he's backing down a stick of a man compared to his steroid ass.
Remember, LeBron James crowned himself. My man Go Cast Hoops. When LeBron James he falsely crowned himself because he made a mistake. They weren't cheering for him, and LeBron James still crowned himself, man. Because everything is always about LeBron James.
Well, I see someone in the comments saying that the crowning is the worst, but consider this. LeBron has given us multiple options of what his most disgusting gesture is. Do you understand that? We got the crowning, we got the flexing, we've got the shrugging, we've got the too small.
Ice in the
We got
veins. Someone mentioned
the
that. That's a good one.
ice in the veins, all the things that he's stolen from other people. Even the chalk throwing was stolen from other people and completely unnecessary. Obviously, whatever he's doing with that chalk doesn't work because he's constantly fucking dealing with his hands out.
He's just throwing creatine.
His hands are never okay. His
He's
hands
just throwing
need
creatine on the
constant
announcers.
maintenance out there. This is LeBron all game long.
Especially when they're
By the
playing
way,
during COVID,
when
this
you-
man spitting in his hand, touching the ball. Like, get out of here with that.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
You're right, man. You guys.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about somebody saying that was it Carmelo? Oh, it was Carmelo saying that Olympic rings matter more than NBA rings. Well, gee, I wonder why Carmelo would say that. Is there any reason whatsoever that Carmelo Anthony might?
When did he say that?
I just saw it in a headline. And if I'm passing on fake news, then I apologize. I can't listen to all of it. There's so much coming from the LeBron media campaign. I don't listen to all of it, or I will actually end up homicidal.
You know what's funny? I heard Carmelo Anthony also say something about the 2008 Redeem team was under more pressure than the 92 Dream Team, so that made them greater than the 92 Dream Team. And when I heard him say that, I didn't really understand what he meant, because if we're going to be real and we're going to talk about pressure and we're going to talk about the stakes, the odds, and we're going to talk about setting the standard, setting the bar, that it was the 92 Dream Team. They were the first team of NBA players to play in the Olympics. So I always tell people, when they talk about the Dream Team beating teams by 30, 40 points, that's them living up to the standard that they were supposed to be. If they would have went out there to Barcelona and beat teams by 10 or 15 points, or barely beat teams by 5 points, then that would have been an embarrassment on the NBA, on American basketball, and they would not have pushed the game forward. They would not have made it as global as they did. When you have people going to the stadiums to watch the United States guys play, Michael Jordan's there, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, all these great players, and they're taking pictures before the game, they're asking for autographs. Why are they doing that? Because they recognize those guys as all-time legends and great players that they admire. So, in fact, if the United States team would have went out there and lollygagged, not taking it serious, went out drinking the whole night and came to the games hungover and only beat teams by a couple points, that would have disrespected the competitiveness of the Olympics, and it would have disrespected the competition, the guys that they were going against. But that's not what the 92 Dream Team did. So, in fact, to me, they had more pressure than the 2008 team because they had to set the bar all the way up there from day one. There couldn't be no letdowns. Remember, they called no timeouts. No timeouts during the entire Olympics. Meanwhile, Steve Kerr was calling timeouts every other quarter against Serbia.
Well, be careful. You're almost going to give Steve Kerr credit as though he was coaching competently.
No, he had to call those timeouts because he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He didn't know who to put in, who to take out, who to rotate, what to call. He looked like an idiot out there. You got Jason Tatum sitting on the bench like a goofball, but you got Joel Embiid there flopping all over the damn court.
Here's my hater comment of the day that's impossible for me to prove, but worth thinking about. If Kerr had simply, as a coach, not had LeBron in there, he might not have had to have called a timeout in the entire Olympics because everything was compromised. The entire flow was changed. Everything was about catering to him. And maybe you wouldn't have even had to have called a timeout if the script hadn't called for catering to LeBron James.
It's just really sad that after all this Olympic play and after Steph Curry did what he did, the United States wins the gold medal, which is the goal. The goal was always to win the gold medal. That was the goal at the end of the day with all this stuff. The problem that we've always had as quote-unquote old heads is that they keep trying to tear down the 92 Dream Team for no reason. The fact that they keep bringing up the 92 Dream Team as the Olympics goes on and on and on, all that shows is that they're the bar, they're the standard. But I don't understand why they have to keep attacking the guys on the 92 Dream Team just to lift these guys up. You could say the 92 Dream Team is the standard, is the bar, and that doesn't take away from this Olympic team that just played in the Olympics. But when you have this team playing and they didn't score over 100 points in consecutive games, the 92 Dream Team never scored under 100 points. I believe they averaged 118 points a game, if I'm not mistaken. So then, but this team alone, they keep telling us more talented, but they couldn't score over 100 points in consecutive games. They were favored by 15.5 points against Serbia. They didn't live up to that spread, and they were favored by 16 points against France, and they didn't live up to that. So once again, they're not living up to the hype.
Sounds familiar, right? Tearing down something to build something up.
Exactly.
It's convenient that that's all happening at the same time. I think it must just be a coincidence.
Well, the thing is, even if the 2024 team was better, you just don't do that to the past. Why? It's just not a classy move. You just don't do that to the past. And by the way, all those gestures that I listed, I left off LeBron grabbing his nuts.
But he stole from Major League, damn it.
He's done so many gross things.
Like you said, man, we don't wake up in the morning thinking about videos to make about LeBron James. I've never lied about this man on my channel. The problem is, every morning you wake up, you put on social media, and this man either says something stupid, he tweets something idiotic, or he goofs up on the basketball court with some nonsense. Or like with that fan, he embarrasses himself by ignoring a young fan out there looking for a picture or an autograph, whatever the case may be. And then he turns around and dances his way into the club, man. I'm telling you, man, he's a piece of garbage, LeBron James, man. I wonder if he would have bought a fake Malcolm X book with him in that club.
Hey, SNF, could you ever imagine
a
videotape being or footage being taken down because somebody got dunked on? Like, you're so worried about how you're perceived that literally, like, I thought only like the CIA could do shit like that. You know what I mean? Just
I got
stuff
that happened this year. You guys,
No,
You guys
with
remember
what?
the play that I? You guys remember the play that I have only because I was recording the TNT overtime app angle, and they erased it from history. Shit, I can't remember which one it was, but it's happened.
That's
And yes, it
insane.
was to save LeBron's ass.
Yeah,
I'm,
that's
I'm
what Scheme
shocked
is
they
saying, man.
included
It's
him
LeBron
getting dunked on
James.
in the Olympics. That dude dunked on the Olympics, and it was a headline for like one day.
Dude, that was AI. Don't disrespect my king. ESPN.
That was Skynet.
Just saying,
But you know what's
who was I
funny?
listening to?
On the
Hold on,
flip
I'm going to
side,
keep
though,
talking because there's this delay, and every time I try to be polite, I just end up fucking waiting for no reason. So someone was making a great point that, and now I'm distracted because you're laughing at the asshole thing I said like a minute ago. Um, um, ESPN and Bleacher Report, etc., give the LeBron people so much 24/7 biased pro LeBron stuff that no wonder they don't know how to react when they see something that is even conceivably not LeBron. I mean, they are in a sheltered, safe place, and they do not know how to react even on a level. Just, what? Everybody's messed up. Everybody has messed up. Everybody's had things happen to them. Everybody's been dunked on. If LeBron would have contested it instead of flopping, I would have actually been forced to give him some credit, because I was just saying the other day how his defense is always help defense. His chase down blocks are made possible because the guy trying to shoot is concerned about the primary defender guarding him. So I would like to see LeBron one-on-one go up against a big dude trying to dunk. And when I heard about this poster, I was like, wow, did LeBron actually try to contest somebody one-on-one? No, he fucking flopped.
yep.
AOH, you ever see the movie Semi-Pro?
Of course.
Okay, so making
Of
sure,
course.
because you got the Jackie Moon thing going on, anyways.
Yeah.
You know when Andre 3000 dunks for the first time, and the ref was like, foul, no, wait, two fouls, because they didn't they didn't understand what they just saw.
That was
Like
magnificent.
that's how it is with LeBron.
You know, it's funny, man. These LeBron James fans, they expose themselves, man, when they talk about this play. Because when we talk about LeBron James, right, and you talk about the dunks that he's had in his career, if you guys remember, there was a dunk with Jason Terry years ago, right after the year when he was in Miami. Even to
Oh,
this
of course
day,
I
they
know.
still talk about that Jason Terry dunk. To this day. Like, you're talking about almost 12 years later. They still talk about a dunk over a 6'3" Jason Terry. They were hyping up that dunk over Kevin Love, if you guys remember a couple years back. Kevin Love, who can't jump
He
over
didn't
an inch of
challenge
paper.
him. He didn't
Exactly,
even
but they were
challenge
hyping
him.
that up. They were posting
I
that all
know.
over social media. They were replaying it on ESPN. They were hyping it up. And
Hey,
also,
SNF,
when you
you're
think
forgetting
about
the dunk of the
LeBron James,
decade.
yeah,
Don't
and he
forget the
gets
dunk of the
dunked on by
decade.
that player. The funny thing is, if that was a 6'3" guy that was running a wide open dunk, you know LeBron James would have tried to chase down and block that guy from behind. That's what he always does. LeBron James gets exposed because he won't go up against a big guy like that and go body to body and raise up and try to challenge him at the rim. But if that guy was 6'2", 6'3", 180 pounds, then you know LeBron James would have tried to block him.
I saw someone in the comments. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they're being sarcastic or if it's an actual LeBron defender saying, it was one play. Why are people talking about that play? I'm like, it just happened. It was the Olympics championship game. But the Jason Terry thing, which is a pathetic, cowardly thing to do to somebody, it was a 3-on-1. It was a 3 on
All three
fucking
of them were
one.
dicks at the same time. They were like a Dick Voltron. All three of them.
Yeah, and I think all three guys on that 3-on-1 were bigger than Jason Terry. Jason Terry was the only brave one there, actually trying to take the charge. And you're still glorifying that. I mean, LeBron, how could Jason Terry have possibly come out on top in that? How could he possibly have come out on top on
And then
that?
you walk over, try to step
And
to
then
him,
you
look
walk
down at
over
him.
him.
Right.
And then you walk over him. It was nothing to be proud of, LeBron. Listen, I can't shit on you for finishing the dunk, but don't act like you did something brave.
And that's the thing, man.
Dunk
That's
of
where
the
you get exposed.
decade. I'm saying he had the dunk of the decade last season.
Oh
That
yeah,
one on Paul George.
Paul
Yeah, the
George
man.
running
What's his face
to
said it
the
himself.
sideline.
Dunk of the decade.
Yeah,
Listen,
that was pretty.
They. I must have seen 30 replays of that night, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is the most basic shit I've ever seen. I don't understand how else was this supposed to go.
Well, it was distracting to see Paul George's decision making about no. Oh, I see who it is. I'm not going to contest. I mean, he switched
Paul
from
George is
getting into
another one.
he switched from getting into position to trying to get out of position.
Right.
Because he knew he was going
Yeah,
to pick
it's
up a
crazy
foul.
because we all know that Jason Terry got the last laugh. No matter how many dunks LeBron James did on Jason Terry, that does not amount to anything nearly as close as the embarrassment that Jason Terry gave LeBron James in the 2011 NBA. LeBron James will never live those finals down, and it's large in part due to Jason Terry's exploits. When Magic Johnson says on a live broadcast of the NBA Finals, can LeBron James stop Jason Terry? There's nothing LeBron James, no dunk in the world will ever erase that from memory, man. So Jason Terry will always have the last laugh on LeBron James, man.
I don't know if you guys saw my breakdown of that, but Jason Terry was going around LeBron like he was in cement.
Oh yeah. Okay, I did watch that one.
Yup.
And laughing about it too, smiling and laughing, like legitimately having a good time.
I don't understand. This is LeBron in his prime when everyone said he was an incredible athlete and he was on steroids, and Jason Terry's going around him like Jason Terry's the Flash.
Yup. And LeBron James thinks that dunking on him erases all of that. Yo, I dunked on Jason Terry, man, and I stared him down. Dude, you look like a
that made me the
goofball.
greatest of all time.
When we
Dude,
watch
fuck
Michael Jordan do all those dunks on these 7-footers, that's why it's impressive when you see him dunk on Patrick Ewing. If Patrick Ewing was 6'1", it wouldn't have been as impressive. But that's what was impressive about a lot of those guys back in the day. They challenged you at the rim, so you had to earn it. If you went into the paint for a dunk or a layup attempt, you might take an elbow to the face. You might take a shoulder. You might take a knee. All these things might happen. You might get slammed to the ground. So that's why these guys had to earn it. The guys that got put on posters, the Mutombos, the Alonzo Mournings, all these guys, they earned those posters because they were up there contesting the shots, man. These guys today, ain't no one contesting shots, man. There's no shot blockers out there. When Rudy Gobert is your greatest shot blocker, it's an absolute joke, man, if you think about this era compared to the other eras. In 1990, Patrick Ewing averaged 4 blocks a game and came in second. And it came in second in blocks per game after Olajuwon, who averaged 4.6. 4.6. Rudy Gobert's never sniffed 4 blocks a game for an NBA season. And these guys were playing 75, 80 games a season, man. So these guys are on a whole nother level.
I'm going to go out
Well, you
on
touched
a limb
on
here and
two
say,
things there.
Go ahead, AOH. I'll go after you.
Shut up!
I don't want to get
Richard
rudely
Jefferson?
interrupted or cut off.
Shut up! Know your place, Richard.
See? That's what I was trying to avoid. Go ahead.
Two SNFR. Two things are significant about what you said. Not only did Michael dunk on people that were actually contesting him, it's a one-on-one situation. It's seeing a big person down there waiting for you and continuing on. LeBron's wasn't even a one-on-one. It was finishing an alley-oop. And I'm sure Michael must have finished some alley-oops on somebody at some point. But those aren't what we celebrate. We celebrate him seeing the big guy waiting down there and going in there and destroying him. One-on-one. And taking a hit as he does it. Just not even comparable. All right, I'll shut up. Sorry, Richard.
Are you done?
Energy.
You're done now? I don't know if I'm under delay, so I have to
Not
wait
even
a
gonna
minute
talk.
to find out if you're done.
Shut up.
Go ahead, Speed.
Oh, no, okay, no delay. Perfect. Okay, good. So I wanted to say, so you're talking about guys when they see a big man in the paint. Grant Hill was amazing at that too, and so was Penny Hardaway. They would break down the defender in front of them, still go to the paint and finish over a big man like it was nothing, and they did it like with an attitude, like they were pissed. What I was gonna say is I'm gonna go out on a limb and say,
even some of the weaker big men in the 90s and early 2000s, I think would be defensive phenoms now. I'm not saying Greg Ostertag would be like an all-star, but he probably averaged 11 rebounds a game. Maybe 10 points, 11 rebounds a game, and that's unthinkable, right? Or Sean Bradley would be a force in the league right now. There would be nobody to contend with him. There's nobody tough enough. There's nobody tough enough now. Well, let me think about that. Like John Morant may run at him because he's weird. But no, I don't see too many guys attacking the paint with even 90s guys like that. But you see Gobert in there, and they're like, "Yo, just pass me the ball. I'm in the post. I'm in the post. I'm the point guard. Pass me the ball. I'm about to score on this dude or make him look stupid." Same with Embiid. The only protector Giannis is the only one that I'm like, man, if he ever focused on just solely on defense, it would be such a shoe-in for him being defensive player of the year every year. I'm done.
Word. Yeah, no, yo, you're on the money, man. This is the thing about it. I see some people in the comment section, talking about, they agreeing with us about the 90s shot blockers, the rim protectors, guys that went up there. Even if they weren't a shot blocker per se, they're still going to challenge you. Charles Oakley was never known for being a shot blocker per se, but he's still going to give you a hit in the paint. Bill Laimbeer was never known for being a shot blocker per se, but he's still going to come at you in the paint and challenge you. A lot of these guys were like that back in the day. They weren't necessarily shot blockers or rim protectors, but they were going to give you a hit for going in the paint, man. You were going to have to pay the price. When you talk about some of the lesser guys being more dominant in this era, this is what we're talking about. When they try to talk about these guys on defense or the big men, you see people talking about LeBron James. LeBron James is 6'9", 260 pounds. Him dunking in the paint is not impressive. Him doing that same basic dunk is not impressive. When you talk about the amount of big bodies that was in the lane in the 90s or early 2000s, it's not the same as LeBron James has been dealing with over the last, 15 years of his career. There really has not been the same amount of players. Guys are not getting up like that. So once again, when you talk about the lack of physicality in the league, LeBron James has been coddled for years and years and years now. This is why his quote-unquote longevity is being hyped up. You're not taking any punishment. You're not taking any physical beatings. Michael Jordan, his first NBA game against the Washington Bullets, took a hit from Jeff Rulin, who's not known as a shot blocker, but he was known as a rim protector, a big body down low. He put Michael Jordan on his backside in a play where Michael Jordan could have been severely injured, man. This is the way the game was played, man. Michael Jordan, a lot of the players back in the day, they went to the hole, they earned those dunks.
Do you understand that the closest thing we've seen to somebody trying to discourage LeBron from just having a free access to the lane was, God damn it. You guys help me out. From the Grizzlies, who wrapped him up, and LeBron, all he did was wrap him up, and LeBron starts limping and then goes to the free throw line and misses both, and he goes and misses both free throws. That's as close as we have to actually discouraging him from dunking. Damn it. Come on. He's 260 pounds. He can take a hit. Well, he can't, but he should be able to.
Do you think John Morant the other dunkers in the league? Do you think the other attackers of the rim take a lot of heat? I mean, obviously Steph does. Kyrie just gets around it. But like attackers, do you feel like they get hit a lot? Because back in the 90s and 2000s, if you attack the paint more and more, they're going to put you down. They're going to physically within the rules, like put you on the ground. And nobody has done that to LeBron, which is weird to me.
Right. And you can't really do it to Ja either. Even when he does. See, the problem I have with Ja is that he looks like he looks like he's going to fall from the moment he takes off, whether he's going to get contact or not. So I have a hard time respecting that. He just throws himself through the air. And,
for the highlight.
Maybe it's going to end well, maybe it's not. But, you talking about people taking a hit, there's a difference. There's when you originally try to stop him legally at the rim, and that doesn't work. So then you start body checking a dude before he even takes off, which is what the Pistons did. I mean, they literally said, don't let him get airborne.
Right, exactly. I mean, listen, man, you can't compare it. I see some people talking about LeBron James played in the early 2000s. LeBron James came in the 04 season where there was no hand checking, everything was removed from the game. The game was not as physical. So when we talk about LeBron James over the last 15 years of his career, he's been in the NBA a long time, guys. You guys talking about a couple of years he played in the 2000s, in the late 2000s. Once again, over the last 15 years of LeBron James' career, who is he going against? This soft era of NBA. No one's impressed with LeBron James dunks. Those same basic dunks, it don't add up, man. It ain't the same as what Michael Jordan, a lot of the other great rim attackers were going through back in those days. Like I said, they weren't always going there just to block your shot. They were going there to try to hurt you. Remember, LeBron James never had to deal with the Jordan rules. LeBron James never had to deal with guys giving you elbows to the mouth. LeBron James out there flopping all over the court. So you LeBron James fans don't have a leg to stand on, man, when you try to talk and make it seem like LeBron James is this tough player that he would have been able to make it in the 80s or the 90s. It don't add up, man. How can you flop that much, but then be considered or be called tough? It don't make sense.
Well, consider the very act of dunking. You know, to non-NBA players, especially someone like me, dunking is impressive. But if you're going to hold LeBron on a special level because he dunks, then you need to think about it in NBA terms. How many people in the NBA can't dunk, especially when they're not challenged?
That's a good question. I am curious if there's somebody in the league that cannot dunk. Because I know Chris Paul can dunk. Because that would have been my first guess. And I know Steph can dunk.
And we know Steph has gotten rejected by the rim, but he has technically done it.
He has dunked. Also, but also, there's no enforcers. There's no enforcers. The closest thing, like when people call Draymond Green an enforcer, I'm like, what? No, he's just dirty, ugly. No, I shouldn't. I'm not gonna. I almost said ugly. I shouldn't say
he's
that.
ugly.
I shouldn't judge
He's
someone
very
else's
ugly.
appearance.
His dunks are ugly.
Right. His jumper, like he's an enforcer in today's league. Someone mentioned Steven Adams in the chat. I think that's probably the closest thing you're going to have to a 2000s 90s enforcer, because he put people down. He set screens that made you think about whether you're going to go around that screen or go through it next time. Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, these people are delusional, man. They're literally saying who dunks like LeBron James. What do you mean? LeBron James stole Karl Malone's dunk. He literally stole Karl Malone's hand behind the head dunk. That's literally LeBron James' dunk. The cockback tomahawk dunk. LeBron James stole Kobe Bryant's reverse dunk. He tried to do like Kobe Bryant. It looks ugly as hell. When LeBron James lands after a dunk, he always lands awkwardly. He always lands like he wants to roll into the crowd or he wants to flop a flop landing. What do you mean no one who dunks like LeBron James? Why do you think LeBron James never did a slam dunk contest? Because LeBron James lacks overall creativity. He lacks originality. So he knows he would not be able to go on a slam dunk contest stage on that level and come up with some creative dunks. This man has no creativity, man. No one has ever thought, hey, LeBron James is one of the top dunkers in NBA's history, man. There are so many players out there that are greater dunkers than LeBron James, especially in-game dunkers. LeBron James is not a top 10 in-game dunker, in my opinion, man.
That's why all that extra flailing is at the end. You know, I did an entire video making fun of his flailing. He has more to the dunk after the dunk than during the actual dunking process. There's no creativity in the dunk. He puts more thought into on his way down and shit.
Exactly.
That's a great impersonation.
No,
well,
you
called this out too. He does the same thing with his passes. He'll pass the ball. And then right, he'll make it seem like this Globetrotters pass. But, you know, meanwhile, it's like, LeBron, just inbound the fucking ball so we can play,
It's the guy to your left. It's the guy to your left.
Right.
You don't need to put the goggles on.
No, let me address something real quick. So I saw something from Trey, something saying I couldn't tell the tone of it, but because he didn't do a dunk contest, that takes away. I couldn't tell if it was sarcasm or not. It doesn't take away from his overall whatever. It just shows that he's still on the inside scared on the biggest stage when it's just him by himself. So when people bring up the dunk contest, they bring it up because he's touted as this amazing dunker. Yet when it's time to show that, he's nowhere to be found. I just wanted to address that.
If he wasn't LeBron, and if we didn't know so much about him, maybe we could have let it go. But like when you look at how he avoids situations where there's no one left to blame, then you have to be like, oh yeah, that's why he doesn't enter a single person competition like that. But it's not just that. He provided excuses. Back in the day, he claimed that he didn't want to be known as only a dunker. I'm like, well, then do something in your career that will make us think that you're more than just a dunker. You don't have to avoid the dunk contest for that. But and I actually responded to Uncommon Hoops. I don't know if this is in the members section or if I haven't published it at all. Apparently, he recently came out and said that he didn't participate in it out of spite because he didn't make the All-Star team or something like that. I'm like, that is the dumbest reason not to do it. You go and join a contest and shove in everybody's face how good you are. No, he took the cowardly way out. So, LeBron not doing it is different than someone else choosing not to. When you provide a shitty, unbelievable excuse, then you draw attention to the fact that you didn't do it.
You
And,
just
and
made
this
me
goes.
think of. Let me get this off real quick before I forget.
Go ahead, Speed.
I've seen LeBron play one-on-one twice. Once was in the movie Trainwreck, and the second time was in the bullshit House Party remake. And in both of those movies, there was no context for basketball whatsoever, like none. Yet they shoehorned in him playing one-on-one against an actor and then a little kid. And of course, he's dominating them and doing all these crossovers and shit and all this stuff he can't do in the game. And it's the disgusting stuff like that. It's when you turn on Space Jam and there's Nike checks everywhere and it's just a giant commercial. That's the stuff that people don't talk about that bother, kind of that add to the legacy.
I can't believe there are 266 people still watching. I should be
I
less
wanna
prepared more often.
I want to mention something real quick about the slam dunk contest you guys were talking about. Because I don't think a lot of people realize or understand the reason why it exposes LeBron James so much. A lot of his fans don't even know this. Do you know that LeBron James competed in 2 skills challenges? Not 1 skill challenge. He competed in 2 skill challenges during an All-Star weekend, but he had no energy to do a slam dunk contest. And he did not win either one of those skill challenges. Neither one of them. So LeBron James had enough energy, right? He felt good enough to do a quote-unquote skills challenge during the All-Star weekend, but he never did a slam dunk contest. And LeBron James fans want to argue he's one of the great dunkers in NBA's history. Once again, this exposes LeBron James and how he does not care about his actual fans. You see Michael Jordan, guys like Dominique Wilkins, these guys that went out there on the slam dunk contest stage to put on the show, they did that for the fans. They went out there and showed their creativity. They showed this stuff for the fans, for the people, to put on a show. That's what the All-Star Weekend used to always be about. The fans, putting on a show for the fans. And that's what Michael Jordan did. LeBron James don't even have enough respect for his own fans to go out there and compete and show his skills because he knows that he has no skills or originality or creativity when it comes to dunking. So you had enough energy to do 2 skills challenges, but you couldn't do 1 slam dunk contest for the people out there? You couldn't do it, even though you're the supremely athlete, right? They keep telling you, oh, he's a greater athlete than Michael Jordan. So then why didn't he go out there and do a slam dunk contest? Magic Johnson even said he would pay for LeBron James to do the slam dunk contest years ago. But LeBron James is scared and he doesn't care about his fans and he has no creativity. That's why all these years, 21 years of LeBron James doing that same basic, boring dunk. Like, you can't say LeBron James is a greater dunker than Michael Jordan or Vince Carter. Talking about in-game dunking. Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, Dr. J, Clyde Drexler. Some of these guys are much greater in-game dunkers. David Robinson, who for a 7-footer was a much more creative dunker in games than LeBron James ever will be. See, once again, the one guy's asking, who cares about the slam dunk contest? You're not listening. I said, how come LeBron James does 2 skill challenges? Who cares about a skill challenge, you stupid goof? But LeBron James competed in 2 of them, but he never did a slam dunk contest. Which more prestigious, the slam dunk contest or that stupid, goofy skills challenge that guys like Karl Anthony Towns have won? Don't no one care about skill challenge, but LeBron James did 2 of them. You LeBron James fans are a bunch of clowns.
He didn't do very well, if I recall, in the skills challenge.
He didn't win either one of them.
So
I believe Dwayne Wade won, and I
I
think Steve Nash won.
Dwayne Wade. but that guy was just a minimum.
That's right. And he won a skills challenge, man. Here goes LeBron James, man. I tell you, these guys are, you got people in here, yo, this guy's hollering for no reason. No, man, don't turn the volume down if my volume is too loud for you, man. You guys, the LeBron James fans have very sensitive ears, man.
I had the unfortunate timing of seeing Sports Talk Only in the comments when I went over to look, and he said something about if LeBron's not a great scorer, why does he have 40K? Oh God. And it made me think of, I saw the headline from First Things First saying, does this Olympic medal help LeBron pass Michael Jordan? You guys understand that LeBron James has been trying for almost a decade longer. A decade. I was going to say double the amount of time as Michael, but that doesn't put it in perspective, because if, Michael played 1 year and LeBron played 2, that doesn't give you the full extent of how long LeBron has been trying. How long LeBron has been trying. And I'll say it for the 30th time. I'll use my YMCA example. I keep going to the YMCA. I'm the oldest motherfucker there, and I got the scoring title after 30 years of putting up my bullshit. Am I the greatest scorer? Am I the
I know,
greatest
they
scorer
always
that the
say that.
YMCA's ever seen?
He got 40,000 points. How did he have 40,000 points and one scoring title all those years? You know
You
why?
guys hear
Because
me
all
now?
that shows is LeBron James is taking a lot of shots. He's taking more shots than anybody else in history. But the LeBron James fans talk about it as if he's a pass first player. The man took the most shots to score the most points in the history of the game, and they want to brag about that? How come we don't have more than one scoring title, though? Because that shows that LeBron James does not have an overall potent offensive game. His arsenal is limited. This is why other players win scoring titles while he's playing in the league, because they're more potent scoring the ball offensively. Guys like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, even Russell Westbrook has won multiple scoring titles, and LeBron James hasn't. All that does is once again expose LeBron James' overall lack of game, man.
Energy.
Can
You
you
up
hear
and
me
running?
now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. I was having audio issues. I just wanted to call one thing energy. I just wanted to call one thing out. For I don't know, more than one. Elijah in the chat something said so LeBron gets knocked because he was in a movie. So just like Sports was saying, and take it disrespectfully or respectfully if you want, but it's like you're not listening to what we're saying. Nobody's
Right.
knocking him for being in a movie. We're knocking him for using that movie as a platform to display basketball skills where A, there's no context, and B, it's to almost overcompensate what he does in the league. And I know that's like a deeper look at it, but that's literally what's taking place. It's just like the bullshit ESPYs when he had his whole family come up there and announce him as such. And then he gets up and he buttons his jacket like he's surprised that he won. But
You're
dumbass, your
copying
family's
from
up
me,
there.
bro. You're
What's that?
copying from my video.
Did you do
You're
this?
copying from my video. Yes.
Did you do this?
Yeah, about him fake uh him undoing and redoing his jacket about 30 times.
I mean, I did watch all your stuff, so if that's where I got that, I apologize, but it's mine
But
now. So, but, but no, it was embarrassing because who the fuck else were they going to announce as the winner? And
is anyone
AOH
else
if I took
tired of
that
the
from you, you
dapping?
know.
Is anyone tired of the special handshakes being like a fake form of bonding? Like he had to do it with his own children to convince the world that his kids like him.
You think his kid?
Exactly.
I often wonder that. Like, I wonder what his relationship's like with it, like just within his family dynamic, because they make
His
it seem great, but that's what all troubled people do.
his own children would disappear from the earth if they spoke out against him.
I
Yep.
cannot wait till this season comes up. I'm looking
Remember, they're
forward
wearing the
to it.
Jordans too. Even LeBron James' kids are wearing the Jordans. All these fools in the chat are
Mm-hmm.
wearing Michael Jordan sneakers.
Yep.
That's why they're a bunch of idiots. They don't have a leg to stand on. That's why I tell them, put yourself on camera. Put your face on camera, you goofs, and show us your shoes. What sneakers are you wearing? Because I guarantee you they're wearing the Jordans. I guarantee you they're wearing Jordan sneakers right now. Everyone's wearing the Jordans. Ain't no one wearing them LeBron James sneakers,
That's
but
all
they
I
over here
got
crying
behind
about
me.
LeBron. Jordans too. Even
Hey, can we get racist?
Sure, go for it.
Because I was ready to give LeBron a break on how over the top rude he was to that little kid that was trying to congratulate him. I mean, the kid was congratulating him, and I thought, you know, you don't come at people, especially in 2024, even if you're a tiny little kid. And then I heard on another talk show, they were like, what if a white player did that to a little black kid? And I thought, that would definitely get more heat. But am I wrong? Because I thought
You're
they
not
had a
wrong, but
point.
the fact that they even pointed it out is so like it's it's not constructive at all. Like that's why shit gets racist, because you start comparing it to racist situations. The kid
Right.
was in his face, and you know, maybe LeBron was going through a hard time, maybe having a tough conversation, and I didn't think it was
Right.
that bad, me personally, but that's because I push my own kids around. I think that he was just in a moment and dislodged the child like he would any other NBA player, and went about his day.
Yeah, you know it's crazy, man. When I see some people, you know, they're talking about LeBron James and they're admitting it. They're admitting they're wearing the Michael Jordan sneakers, and they're like, "Whoa, if I wear Michael Jordan sneakers, that means I can't like LeBron James." Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. How can you support LeBron James and wear
Eh,
Michael Jordan sneakers? It's a
we got
complete
no.
contradiction. It's a
Yeah,
complete
but we got
contradiction.
better. But we got better. We got better points than that. We've got better topics than that.
No, we don't. We're at the end of the show.
We were at the end of the show an hour ago, and we have more viewers. People like the
Got to
chaos.
ride this wave.
No, because they know the deal, man. They're thinking the same things that we're saying, man, and that's what it is. We're just saying what they're thinking. These LeBron James fans, everyone's done with these clowns. That's why I challenge them to make videos. You guys have all this time you've been in the comment section, an hour and a half almost. You could have made a video. You could have made 5 videos, and you could have made all the points you wanted to make. But you guys will never do that, man, because you guys are a bunch of soft fools. You're afraid to put your face on camera the same way LeBron James is afraid to do the slam dunk contest all those years, man. But then you clowns want to call him one of the great dunkers. It can't be both ways, you fools. Here we go, basketball GOAT with another clown name. He's the basketball GOAT. Here he is in our chat section. Another LeBron stream? No, you goof, man. Why are you here again?
You know, we started two.
He said, "Why are you here again?"
Again, the same guys are here every Wednesday and Sunday live stream crying about us. I don't get you guys, man. Make your own videos, you fools.
Oh,
Yeah, the
he
10
said
independent
again.
the 10 independent people that exist in the world are gonna undo LeBron's fucking narrative. I mean, you have the entire mainstream media on your side. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be okay.
You know what I'm noticing is as we present these arguments, did you ever have like an argument, you know, with your female girlfriend, wife, partner, whatever, and
Why do
you
you
say
think I'm in a
something?
car right now?
Well, exactly. Why you think I'm in the basement right now? And then you see, why you think you see more and more of my belongings down here every time I'm here? The fact of it is that they've got all these guys in place to make sure that this man is seen a certain way on every media platform possible. And we've never had this much access. And when it's almost like Jehovah's Witnesses, who I have no problem with. But
Of course you don't.
of course I don't. People seem to hate when they knock on their door every week, consistently and consistently and consistently. They want to push that away. They're tired of that. Not specific to them, of course. And I had another point, but then sports yelled it out of my head. So if I remember it, I'll come back to it. It had
Somebody
something
could
to
get
do with
that
somebody
guy
in
to
the
just.
chat.
Somebody could
Oh,
get
that's
that
what
guy.
it was. That's what it was. I'm sorry. They do that thing where they take your words and they flip it in a way where it's like something completely else, like the comments about, so he was in a movie, so he can't be good, or
Damn,
like
dude, you
if I don't wear
started
his
with
shoes.
that fucking 15 minutes ago. Wrap it.
Did you?
You did.
No, this was different. No, because what I had no. You're missing my point. See, you do cut people off. What I'm saying is,
when your point takes 10 minutes, I'm going to cut you off.
just because you keep yelling at me while driving, which is not safe.
I'm not fucking driving.
Oh,
I'm stationary.
And anyways, so they switched the words to make it seem like we're talking about something else, like an angry spouse would do. Like that's like, so you're saying I'm fat, so you're saying I'm ugly. It's like one of them every time.
Yep.
So at the beginning of this show, like 2 hours ago, I mentioned how interesting it was that LeBron fans were really upset about ESPN having the nerve to show the highlight of LeBron getting dunked on and them actually retreating to denial that it happened. And them saying, don't respect my king. Can Richard Jefferson, not Richard Jefferson, you want to dive into the mental problems of somebody who actually has listen, Michael Jordan was a great basketball player. As time went on, myself and others were forced to respect his game, but never once did I then or now think of him as anything more than a basketball player. Michael Jordan has not solved world hunger. He's not solved cancer. He hasn't saved the rainforest from being turned into feedlots. He was a basketball player, but he was the best at it. But I would never call someone who plays basketball my king, my lord, my savior. What is wrong with you people?
It's like a cult. And you
You
know what's
got these
wild
guys.
is Dikembe Mutombo was building whole infrastructures overseas. You didn't hear one word about it. Not one word.
Yeah.
You got these people celebrating the Olympic MVP award like it means anything. Can those LeBron James fans in the chat, can you name me the other MVPs of the Olympics? Can you name me the people who won it before LeBron James? No, you can't. And you know what the funny thing is? That award's been given out since like 2021. That award means literally nothing. It's like the Western Conference Finals MVP or the Eastern Conference Finals MVP that they just started giving out. Those awards are irrelevant, man, in any kind of conversation. No one cares about the MVP of the Olympics. It's an actual joke award, man. Once again, it's like the in-season tournament. Does anyone care about the in-season tournament or MVP award? LeBron James has not won an actual real MVP award since a lot of these guys were born. He hasn't won one in his 30s. So once again, you expose LeBron James. Yo, I gotta
Here's the
wrap this
thing.
up, guys. I gotta go soon.
I agree. I'll say that I don't think there should be an Olympic MVP. And that's why it was gotten rid of and was only brought back in recent history due to individualism. But, does anyone think that Jordan wouldn't have been the MVP in 92? Does anyone think that Kobe wasn't the MVP in 2008? But it's the weird argument of the LeBron fans. They will actually use an accolade that LeBron got that wasn't even available for someone else, which is weird. And they'll like his son playing with him, they're going to use in the GOAT argument. Well, it shouldn't be happening. It just means that LeBron reproduced really early in life and then paid for for Bronny to get into the NBA. It's nothing about greatness. It's about manipulation.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's all it is about manipulation. Nothing is substance, man. When these people, the LeBron James fans, these LeBron James people, they love to talk about opinion. Oh, it's just your opinion. It's your opinion. It's your opinion. Listen, when the majority of the people agree on the same thing, it's not an opinion anymore. It becomes a fact. It's a fact that Michael Jordan is recognized as the greatest basketball player of all time. That's not my opinion. That's the fact of the world. If you took a vote right now, every person in the world, and you took a vote and you were able to tally all these votes, most people will say Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. That's not my opinion of that. Those are the facts of the reality of the world that they live in.
Well, guys, I am going to break down the Serbia and France game in great detail. If you want to put in the comments of this, not the live chat, in the actual comments of the video anything that you want to point out about the game so that I don't overlook it, because that's a lot of footage to go over. Sometimes even when I'm looking at it, my eyes will glaze over. Feel free to give some advice. Feel free to tell us what we were incorrect about today. Not that we will acknowledge that, but I'd like to thank not Richard Jefferson for being, and as usual, sports and fitness rants.
Yes,
So
yes.
much-
As you guys know the deal, man. Once
Energy.
again, it was a pleasure with you guys, man. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties today. We had some delay. We had some
we
in and
didn't
out,
have
some
nothing.
drops.
We didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
AOH jacked us up a little bit. He went hoop got on us today, but we were still able to get the points across. We were still able to educate some of these fools, even though they're not listening. They
Let me
still
do
climb the
something.
comment section.
Let me do something you'll never see from LeBron James. You guys, that was on me. Thank you for keeping it. Thank you for keeping it going. Thank you for holding the team together. Thank you for holding it together. It was my fault.
Whoa.
Yo, make sure you guys subscribe to our channels, man, and you continue to stand up against the nonsense, man. These LeBron James fans, these apologists, these supporters, they stand on nothing. They don't value integrity, honor, class, the love of the game, because LeBron James doesn't stand for any of that stuff. So they'll just talk about percentages and stats. That's all they have to fall back on, guys, because they can't fall back on any of those other things, man. So you guys know the deal, man. Sports and fitness rants, my man Angry Hoops, Beam Engine. Yo, great time with you guys as usual.